Good morning, it's Coach Kathy. Don't mind the bedhead. I just got up and we're going to do a little something. I'm going to show you what my morning routine looks like because I get asked all the time, Coach Kathy, how often should I weigh myself? And my answer is always the same. You weigh once a day, first thing in the morning, naked after using the bathroom. So we're not going to videotape all of this, but I just thought I would address this very commonly asked question, so stay tuned. So I didn't show me stepping on the scale because my scale is actually glass and it's just like a mirror and nobody wants to see me naked stepping on a scale. And even if you did, you're not gonna, weirdo. Just kidding. So anyways, I weighed in at 130 pounds today. This has just been very constant and consistent, and it's a weight that I'm happy with and that my surgeon and my family doctor are happy with for me. And so I do use a Renpho scale. I get asked that a lot too, and that's available on Amazon. I can link it in the comments down below to my Amazon shop. And what I really like about it is it provides a lot of different biometrics besides just weight, because remember, that number does not show the whole picture at all. And so to answer the question from the beginning of the video is how many times should I weigh? My response for most people is daily, once a day. But remember, my butts are big. If you have a current active situation of an eating disorder or disordered eating, if the scale has been a cause and source of severe anxiety. I'm not trying to encourage that, guys, but I'm speaking to the average person. Weighing once a day is going to do nothing more than provide you data. I look at this very scientifically. Today's one measurement on the scale doesn't show a whole lot, but when I take today's and yesterday's and the day before's and tomorrow's and the day after that, and then after 7 days, I take a 7-day average, that does show a pretty accurate picture of what the situation is. And then again, if I take all those weekly totals and do a monthly average, it's absolutely going to show me a much more clear picture of what my weight is than if I just weighed once a week, once a month, only when I go to my doctor's office. Because the thing is, guys, especially for women, we retain a ton of fluid. We have monthly fluctuations based on where we are in our cycle, if you're still having one. I know I can eat soy sauce and be up 5 pounds from water weight the next day. And if that next day happened to be the one time I weigh myself a week or a month, I'm going to feel like a failure. And it might not show all the progress that I actually have made. So just know that weighing once a day is doing nothing more than giving you one tiny little sliver of information to then go input into weekly and monthly totals, which will show you your whole picture. And again, the scale is not the only measure of success, but it is part of it. And it is a good way to have some accountability with what your eating choices have been. And so on that Renpho scale, it's also going to show you things like bone mass and whether you're dehydrated or not. And it's really cool. I can say I've been using it not since the beginning of my journey, but I started on like February 26th was when I got my first Renpho scale. And I'd already lost about 25 or 35 pounds at that point, because that's when I was doing Noom. If you've seen my little weight history video, that's my very first video. And so anyways, I really love that it's going to put it all on a chart, and you can see that weight loss doesn't look like this. It's not linear, and it's not just a straight downhill. It's more like this, and that's normal. And so it's really good to see every one of those little bullet points charted out, and over the course of a month or over the course of a year or even over the course of 3 years, it can really show you what your trends are. And the more knowledge we have, the better choices we can make. The more we know, the better we do. And so if you look at this from like a clinical, non-emotional standpoint, weighing once a day, first thing in the morning, naked, after using the bathroom, is going to give you the most accurate thing. So for those of you who are weighing 3 and 4 times a day and taking fluid pills so you can screenshot that smaller weight on the scale, or even if you have a giant bowel movement, 2 or 3 hours later, but you've already had coffee or breakfast, it's going to show up. You're not cheating yourself out of anything and you didn't like miss a really good weigh-in because you had a big bowel movement or something later. Like if you've truly lost weight and it's truly weight that you've lost and not just stool, it's going to show up, especially if you're weighing once a day, because it's going to come out in the wash. It's going to come out in those weekly and monthly averages. So stop stressing, stop obsessing. If you are of a healthy mindset and able to do this, weigh once a day and you're all good. And I'll show you my biometrics down below. And thanks for watching. Bye. All right, let's look at some comparisons. This is today's weight, and this was my highest weight in 2020. But let's look at some more things, like skeletal muscle is huge now, but it was very low when I first started, so I've gained a lot of muscle. And then we've got subcutaneous fat, was super high before, it's lower now. Visceral fat, this is the precursor for a lot of morbid obesity diseases, and it's so much better. And then you can see an overall BMI, 52% body fat. Things have definitely changed since then. And this is today's weight and my glass scale without me on it naked. Thanks.